Hello, welcome to Kimberly Ann's Kaleidoscope YouTube channel. I looked within my tube to find a magical Kimberly Ann's Kaleidoscope in my mind. Welcome, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. Looking at today, the front porch gathering topic, scars to stars. So pull on up a rocking chair and pour yourself some sweet tea and let's just sit a spell. You look at these hands, right? Or you look at this heart and you see lines and marks. We all got them, but there's a mighty big difference between a wound that's still bleeding and a scar that's healed up. A scar means you survived the storm. Now, here is how the good Lord takes those tough, rough, broken pieces of our lives and turns them into something that shines. The reference is the blacksmith's fire. Metal bends out of shape. The maker knows the purpose. The beating makes it strong. The finished whole holds true. That's hit too many limestone rocks, buried deep in the dirt. It gets chipped. Gouged, right? And plain old busted up. Now, a quitter looks at that and throws it in the scrap heap behind the barn. Out behind the barn. But a real craftsman, he doesn't throw it away. He puts that broken iron right back into the hottest part of the forge. That's the fire that a blacksmith uses. He hammers it, reshapes it, and sharpens the edge. When he's done, that place where it was broken is often the strongest part of the whole blade. It goes back into the field and cuts a line straighter than it ever did before. Your scars are just the places where the blacksmith hammered you back together. They aren't ugly. They are proof you are still useful. From scars to stars, wounds drag eyes down. You stare at the hurt. Scars lift eyes up. You see the healing. Night reveals the stars. Daylight hides their shine. Trouble brings the dark. Grace brings the light. Every scar tells a story. It says you made it. Your story guides others. It is a beacon. You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. Now here's the front porch truth. Out here in the dark, you can't see the fields, and you can't see the dust on the floorboards. You can only see those little pinpricks of light hanging up there in the black sky. Stars are just fires burning in the deep dark to keep the travelers from losing their way. That is exactly what your healed up scars are meant to do for somebody else. When you tell folks how you got hurt, but how you still got up and walked out of the valley, you become a star in their night sky. You show them the path. You give them hope that they can make it to morning too. Don't hide your marks. They just show where the light gets in. And I guess God uses all that for His good, is what I'm hearing from God's voice. But see, the scars must remain, so you never forget how you got into all that BS in the first place. So, what has happened to me with God? Destroying, well, the truth of the flesh. Destroyed, broke my fleshly heart. And it is not put back together. It is just like Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men will never put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Because why? Because what God did to me going through my spiritual awakening. And I went through a transformation from the physical flesh into the spiritual being in higher percentage. So that brokenness is never mended. But what God did is He picked up the pieces, put them in an imitation heart, all the pieces inside that imitation heart, and they're in there, but they're like merged with God's heart, and my pieces are in there. That's the only reason I'm alive. That's the only reason that I came back to life. That's the only reason how I came back to life. And those pieces are forever in that case, locked. Just like the Sacred Heart that you see Jesus, picture of Jesus and Mary, right? With the heart, with the case of it looking like a heart, and then the chains around it with a lock, and then the flame and the cross there, right, coming up. That's a Sacred Heart. That's God's heart. That theirs, human heart, had to be shattered, had to be destroyed. And then God picked up those pieces and put it inside the Sacred Heart, which is God's heart that keeps beating and gave me back to life. It's the only way, because I've made recompense. And it's not like it was forced. It was a calling. It was a voice heard to take all that weakness, and God turned it into strength. Scars to stars. Okay? But I am to never return to that fleshly, worldly wagon ways ever again, because it is recompense. It is a contract between me and the Lord thy God, right? And it's like chiseled in stone, you know. And besides that, you don't seeing the truth of the matter and of it all, you have no wanting to return to the old and the lower self ever again. And so, yes, indeed, God turned all of that. But see, it is never healed. It will never mend. It is to be a deep sorrow. Because that sorrow is a reminder of the pain and of the severity of it. Because humans forget, you see. So that sorrow has to stay right in here, so I never forget. So that I never, like Lot's wife, turned and looked back at the burning city, representing she looked back, turned and looked back. No. You see, and what happens, turned into a pillar of salt, right? It's symbolically speaking, you see. But yes, it did indeed happen in the physical realm, and it is a lesson, spiritual that we stay in our path and stay on our journey for continuing personal growth, higher and higher and higher. You see, and we keep going, we keep elevating. You see. And just like that song, I am thinking today of that beautiful land I shall reach when the sun goeth down, when through wonderful grace by my Savior I stand. Will there be any stars in my crown? In the strength of the Lord let me labor and pray. Let me watch as a winner of souls. Will there be any stars in my crown? You see? Will there be any stars in my crown? Because those are the stars now that our eyes are set on, and our focus is looking towards and looking up towards the crown. And will there be any stars